What up, fam? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers fall to the San Antonio Spurs to go 0-2 in the California Classic. Now, I'm very encouraged. All right, we fell 109 to 99, so basically by 10 points. But why am I so happy and excited, regardless of the score of a California Classic? Well, because it's the California Classic. Nobody really cares. This is the Las Vegas Summer League that's more important. It's where you get a lot more of comp. But I'll tell you this. I love what I saw from the guys that I had to see. If that makes sense, somewhat of a tongue twister. But I love what I saw from Max Christie, who finishes with 25 points on 7 from 13 from the field. 4 for 5 from beyond the arc. He shot 80% from beyond the arc. So he's also improved his shooting. Remember, last year around this time, couldn't make lick. He looked like Jalen Hood-Schifino last year. Now, he did have 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block to go with those 25 points. It was phenomenal, okay? Cole Swider, not so much. He did have 18 points. His shooting continues to be there, 4 for 7. But you cannot have 3 turnovers for your position, right? Power forwards should not have many turnovers. He had 3 turnovers. He can't really still put the ball on the floor. He can't do nothing outside of catching and shooting. I'm kind of discouraged by that because I like his jump shot and I like how he can get hot instantly. However, how is he going to find PT or even a roster spot if that's all he can do? You can't be one-dimensional on this team. Now, Maxwell Lewis struggled as well. He went 0 for 2, didn't really shoot much, played limited minutes. That's fine. But, again, he did have 2 blocks. Got cut down on the turnovers as well. Jalen Hood-Schifino, much better game. Again, very aggressive to start. 20 points. He ends up with 4 assists. Did have 5 turnovers. 2 of those were fouls. They didn't call him. But I like his poise going downhill. Now, remember, I made a comparison for that kid when we started out preseason. I said, I haven't seen him play much, but body-wise and physicality-wise, he reminds me of Marcus Smart. I remain with that same comparison. Marcus Smart also struggled from shooting when he first came in the league. Eventually became a solid three-point shooter, 3-and-D guy. But I like a couple things from Jalen Hood. He's a floor general. He makes good passes. Sometimes they're a little too hot to handle. But he did have 20 points, right, on 8 for 17, so that's 47% from the field. He did go 0 for 4. If he just makes 1 or 2 more of those threes, he would have had more than Max Christie. So that tells you how talented Jalen Hood is, right? He's very talented. He just needs to refine a couple of things. Most importantly, decision-making and three-point shooting. But I like his potential, guys. For the future, this kid is going to be solid. You might be looking at your future starting point guard of the Lakers. Now, the one that impressed me the most, by far, besides Max Christie, because we know he's primed and ready. If he doesn't play Summer League in Vegas, I'm not complaining because he put up the 25 points efficiently on 7 for 13 from the field. But the one that really stood out for me, again, at the halftime and now, was Colin Castleton, who finishes with 18 points, 4 blocks, 6 assists, which is massively impressive, 8 rebounds to go with all of that. And he did it on 6 from 10 from the field very efficiently. I think we found ourselves another one, guys. I think the Lakers strike gold again with a 2-way contract, and this time by the name of Colin Castleton. He's going to be around for a minute. I told you guys he reminded me last game. I told you the way he played, he reminded me a little bit of Zubats. Guess who the color commentators on TV compared him to? Zubats. So ESPN need to hire your boy because I see things before others, man. And I'll tell you right now, this kid does have a soft touch around the basket. He has a nice midi as far as a mid-range jump shot. He can block shots. He has good instincts for the basketball. He can handle the rock. He brings it up the court out here looking like Şengün from the Rockets, to be honest. That's another good comparison, except with a defensive side to him. He's 6'11", really a 7-footer with shoes, and I see bright things coming for him in the future. Now, I'm not sure if any of these young guys are going to mature enough, quickly enough in time for the regular season for them to make a dent in the starting rotation, but you never know. It's a long season. There is injury, so it's good to have options, and I love the way that these guys came out here and balled out, even though we caught an L. Obviously, there's other pieces that I liked as well. Demoy Hodge seems like he has a really nice jump shot. Tell me it doesn't remind you of KCP's quick release and stuff like that. I'm very curious to see where they go with him because he's also on a 2-way contract, right? But let me ask you guys this. Who impressed you guys the most so far in the first 2 Summer League games? We finished the California Classic 0-2, but record means nothing. By the way, shout out to the Spurs. They played exceptionally well. And the referees just made me sick because they called everything on us. But the Lakers coaching staff got to do a better job of utilizing our size, right? That Killian Hayes kid, that 7-footer that hustles, he should have been starting alongside Castleton to give us that size. right? Somebody said goodbye, Cole. Yeah, Cole Swider is a very good asset to somebody who just needs somebody to come in and catch and shoot. But this guy has no dexterity. He has no mobility. He's very stiff. He's slow to get back in transition. He has a lot of weaknesses on the defensive end, and he cannot put the ball on the floor very much so. And that's disappointing because I was hoping that he developed, that ability to be able to put the ball on the floor to become a better player, at least a sidestep jump shot. He can't even create space. He got blocked on a three-point shot that was drawn up for him out of bounds play in the fourth quarter. That's not a good sign, especially because, they were able to read it just too slow. But the only thing that he has going for him is a nice three-point shot, a very nice one, like potentially an elite three-point shot. So this is why I still have him on the fringe. I'd still keep him on a two-way contract just in case. But who knows? There might be better talent. However, that Castleton kid he's going to give everybody a run for their money for that 15th roster spot. I'll tell you that. I like the way he's playing, man. Swider is out of here? Maybe. He said, you see how hot Cole on threes was in the first half, but in the second half, that's why Swider is not on an NBA team. Yeah, and the thing about him, he needs to be wide open, but any little space he creates, he knocks it down. Problem is, he struggles to create space. Luckily for him, LeBron James, AD, and D'Angelo Russell, some of the best playmakers are on this roster, so maybe he'll crack something, right, if he gets wide open shots from them. But defensively, he's getting cooked. And out rebounded. We got killed on the rebounds. We gave up like 20-plus offensive rebounds, largely and partly due to Cole Swider. Like, I don't know why the coaches continue to go with a small ball lineup. It doesn't work. Castleton was the only one down there rebounding. So he said, Dan, why didn't J Health play? He's no longer on the roster as of right now. He got recently – was it the Raptors or the Philadelphia 76ers? I don't remember. Yeah, I saw that. We talked about it earlier. Mo Bamba to the Sixers is interesting. Mamba Mentality, appreciate super chat. Bro said Max Castleton and Jalen Hood-Schifino have next level talent so far. And I actually like Maxwell Lewis. Now, again, his game doesn't really show too much in the stat line because I feel like he's the type of player that's going to need, at least in the beginning, to get more involved and to be more on ball. But they want to turn him into an off-ball guy here in Summer League, and that hasn't worked out for him offensively. However, I do like his athleticism a lot. He had 2 blocks just based off of sheer athleticism. If he puts it together, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem for sure. Yeah, I just did right now, brother. I've seen your super chat. Right? Is there another one? No, that's the one. I just read it. Pistons. Okay, Pistons. Yeah, Bamba to the 76ers is a good get for them. Sure. Yeah, I think they lost Drummond, right? So that's a good get for them if he can stay healthy. We really didn't get to see what he could do much here, right, in LA. But I wish him the best. I wish every ex-Laker the best, except for when they play us. He says, so proud of Max Christie. Wow, just wow. Me too, bro. I think he's instantly going to earn backup shooting guard minutes from Austin Reeves. Imagine when Austin Reeves goes to the bench, you're going to have a 2 potential player like Max Christie there just at 20 years of age. Wow. Like, his jump shot looks silky smooth. His handles have gotten better. He put on some more size. He put on some more strength, so his size looks better. Like, this dude is out here putting the ball in the basket, stopping on a dime, absorbing contact, and finishing. Another guy that really impressed me with the way he absorbs contact is Jalen Hood-Schifino. A couple of those layups should have been called fouls, but of course, referees are in mid-season form, and they didn't call them. But still, like, he finished almost everything at the basket. He has a soft touch. He has a great ball handle. He has a nice first step and a burst of speed. He's not the quickest guard, but that burst and that first step is really, really good from him. And that's going to help him get to his spots better if he just continues to develop a three-point shot, because he has some solid looks. He took like 3 out of those 4 3-point shots were solid. So he's going to continue to get better. The 3-point shot, I expect him working with Phil Handy and the coaching staff for it to get better. So I'm not too upset at his misses there. He said, Dan, feels like Christian Wood is heat bound. Really? Hopefully not, man. Hopefully he lands on the Lakers. But if we miss on Christian Wood, I'd be okay with getting Tristan Thompson, because he showed that he can defend multiple positions. He showed that his veteran leadership would be solid. However, back to this game, man, you got to be excited, because think about it. Just a couple seasons ago, they said we traded the whole young core and we had no draft picks. Now look at us. We got Austin Reeves. We got Rui spearheading the future. Now it looks like Max Christie is about to join that group. If Jalen Hood-Schifino and Maxwell Lewis can get it together in time, that's 5 right there, young core pieces, all 25 and under, right? And then on top of that, we just signed a couple of projects, right? Not projects, but prospects, I should say. Cam Reddish, who really hasn't stuck anywhere in the NBA, he's only 23. And then Jackson Hayes, who's also only 23. If any of those guys pan out, they could get future contracts with the Lakers. And that's not even counting Castleton and anybody else. So the Lakers have a real bright future. And I really like the fact that they were able to put it together with a couple of seasons, right? Remember, 2 seasons ago, we were old, slow. We had Trevor Ariza. We had, what was that guy's name? What was his name? I already forgot his name. That's how irrelevant he was. But that small forward / shooting guard that used to play for the Warriors wasn't very good. Then we had DeAndre Jordan starting for us. Like, that was bad. I would have much rather have this young core and talented players getting major minutes in those years, but I'm glad we have them now, right? My guy Mamba said, we got 2 of the hardest hard-nosed teams that can shoot in the California Classic. This will help our young players go into the Summer League. Yeah, man. And to be honest, the starting lineups were horrible. Like I said it last game. They did put Maxwell Lewis in there, but unfortunately, he really didn't catch a rhythm early on. However, I don't like Castleton being the only big alongside Cole Swider. Cole Swider, to me, should be like a wing 3-point shooter, like a small forward, power forward at worst. He should never, ever, ever, ever play the center position. And they played him certain minutes at the center position, and we got cooked, right, with a capital C. So that tells you that the coaching staff just experiments too much, and they usually do that around this time, but it is frustrating if you want the team to win. However, I wasn't really watching the team for win. I wanted them to stay competitive, and I wanted to see our young guys balling out, and they did just that. Starting with Max Christie, who, by the way, I might make a breakdown video of him tonight, of his game he had tonight. Listen, 4 for 5 from beyond the arc, 7 for 13 overall from the field. He made 7 of his 8 free throws. He had 4 rebounds. He had 4 assists. He had a steal. He had a block. Just filled up the stat sheet, and he capped it off with 25 points overall, right? Same thing with Castleton. Castleton, probably the second most impressive player in this game with 18 points effortlessly, too, by the way. He didn't get too many touches. 6 assists, that's the most impressive stat for me, as well as the 4 blocks and 8 rebounds. But the 6 assists just shows that this dude has a high court vision. It's not easy for big men, especially that don't get a lot of touches, to have 6 assists. That pass he dropped off to Demoy Hodge when he cut, down the middle on the backdoor pass, that was beautiful. And that was on target when he just rose up and he just made that bucket. So this kid, man, Castleton, I feel like, wow, the Lakers they know how to scout tremendously well. I don't know what they promised this kid, but they probably told him, listen, come hoop with us on a 2-way contract. You might be the next Austin Reeves story. And maybe he will, maybe he won't, but he's off to a good start. That I can say. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on him. That's big shoes to fill, but in a different position, of course. But as a center, you're looking for versatile bigs like him who are mobile, and he showed his mobility. The way he dribbles the ball up the court off of the rebound, off the catch. He even had a nice behind-the-back move. Didn't get it ripped, picked it up, and made the right pass. Just a little fundamentals. Matter of fact, who would you guys like to see me break down tonight in DTLF's breakdown videos? Brand new segment. I did Jalen Hood-Schifino the last game. Would you guys like to see me break down Castleton, or do you guys want to see Max Christie? I will break down one of them for you guys tonight. Why is Keegan Murray playing in Summer League? Because he wants that MVP trophy, man. That's what he wants. That is exactly what he wants. I'll do one for you guys, man, because it's very time-consuming, but I can do one. Pick one if you guys want me to break down. I'll break down a different one on a different video. I got you guys. He said Castleton. Okay, we got one vote for Castleton. So, okay, and we got one for Max Christie. Max Christie, Collins. So, 2-2. Next one's the tiebreaker. Next vote is the tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen. Castleton. All right. Castleton wins by a little bit. So, I mean, we all saw what Max Christie can do. I don't think we need to break him down very much, but we'll see. I might do both. We'll see if I have time. But Castleton for sure is the winner. I got you guys. We're going to do a breakdown video of Colin Castleton's game, and he was very impressive. I'll tell you that. But, yeah, Schifino definitely stood out in this game. I told you guys not to panic. People was already panicking. I did the whole breakdown game, and the things I like, you guys can still catch that video. Still applies to today because he showed some of the same things, and he's going to get better as well. Once that 3-ball starts falling, imagine he went 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. If he hits 1 or 2 of those, he would have ended up with 23 to 26 points, right? So, and then everybody would have been gushing about our 17th pick, calling him a steal. So it's funny how some people just watch for the stats. I'm looking more for the tendencies, the court vision, the way he dribbles, the way he keeps his ball, his head up when he comes up court. the way he attacks down the middle, and just how fearless he was. I love that. And again, my comparison for him remains. I said Marcus Smart type of guard. I think he can be that, maybe better, right? Because the ball handling is already more advanced than Marcus was when he came in. So, based off of what I remember, could be wrong. Hey, what up, Melvin? He said Dan was the first to scout Reeves. He is the best on YouTube in terms of scouting. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you for giving me my flowers, man. I appreciate that, bro. And let's not forget, I also said Brandon Ingram would be a star in this league, right? I said at some point he'll be a top 10 player. He hasn't got there quite yet, but he's pretty close, right? Yeah, I've done my fair share of scouting on this channel. Yeah, Reeves, I remember from day one he stood out. So far, the most impressive player for me has been obviously Max Christie, but right behind him, Castleton is at back-to-back good games. The last game, he did miss a field goal. He was like 5 for 5 for 11 points, and he also played some solid defense. This game, a lot better, man. He's going to continue to get better. So I'm glad you guys are noticing the things that we notice on this channel. He says Shafino needs to work on his jump shot. And that's the good news, because that's something they can actually work on. What you can't teach, though, is his floor general and court vision. You can't teach how tough the kid is. Those are things that he's already blessed with. So I'm glad we drafted him. It's starting to look like a really good pick, as well as Maxwell Lewis. Now, Maxwell Lewis hasn't really got a chance to shine offensively, but I think, just his sheer athleticism just stands out to me. Like, he's got Jaylen Brown type athleticism. He tried to posterize somebody, and so did Max Christie. But he's just lanky, and he looks great. Like the block he had on the defensive end where he twisted his body and just blocked it, I didn't think he was going to reach that. Very impressive. He said, I didn't like Swider since last game. Looks too clumsy and slow. Yeah, honestly, my comparison for Cole Swider is like Brian Cook. Now, that in the modern day NBA still has, he still has a place for that, but the Lakers need athletes that can play on both sides of the floor, right? Especially if we want to win a championship. So even if we do keep him, he's not ready yet. He needs to get better in a lot of categories. His shot is beautiful, though. Don't get me wrong. His catch and shoot game is phenomenal. Reminds me of Brian Cook. Who remembers Cookie? Brian Cook. He was on the championship teams as well. He said Swider looks like a clumsier version of Kuzma. No, I stick with my Brian Cook comparison. That's exactly what Brian Cook used to do. He used to come in. But one thing Brian Cook will give you is effort. That's one thing I'll say about him. He wasn't the best defender or the best rebounder, but he always came with that effort no matter what. If Cole Swider could develop some, better fundamentals and effort, then it can go a long way. He might actually crack a rotation, or not a rotation, but a roster spot. Right now, he's looking really third stringer-ish, if he even makes a roster. He said, do you think the Lakers have a chance at Christian Wood? Of course. Listen, if y'all don't remember, I said it on Around the League. The more days pass, the better the chance gets, because the money's going to dry up. And Christian Wood was one of my primary big man targets. Everybody said Everybody said Brook Lopez. I wasn't really sold on him. Not a huge fan of his, especially after his first stint. Even though he does fill a need, he's a 35-year-old giraffe, in my opinion, and he's a half-court guy. He's not going to get up and down. Remember, the Lakers were number one in fast pace last season, so we want quick athletes. Jackson Hayes is a better fit as far as quick athletes who can get up and down and can actually make themselves felt, right? But Christian Wood was high on my list. Matter of fact, I think I said he was my priority as a big man, just because I would love to see what him and AD can do together in the front court. And if it doesn't work out, you get some backup big men. Like, I would love to get both Christian Wood and Bobo. Both of those have offensive potential, but they also have defensive potential. And it's different when you have a player that's not a defensive player like that, but you have so much length. You got versatile guys like obviously Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, guys who can actually defend. And so that makes you not so much of a target on the defensive end, because now you come from the weak side and sneak in a couple of blocks and rebounds and stuff like that. So I think Christian Wood would shine here with LeBron, with AD, with Rui, with all the length and size we have. And yeah, he could be good for us. Jaylen looking better than Brandon Miller so far. Well, I'll say this, bro. I never like to judge players based off of Summer League, because sometimes, and again, everybody was caught. Remember, I love to use this example because I had to defend Max Christie last offseason when we were in Summer League and he couldn't hit anything. And I said, guys, he shows good potential, especially defensively. He's a nice athlete. His form is nice. He'll come along. And now look at him, right? So we can't really be that hard on Brandon Miller, Jonathan, because we don't know at what pace he'll develop or even what he will become, right? It's only till a year or two that you really start seeing what these guys are. So, but again, there is the early early showers, and then there's late bloomers. Austin Reeves was an early shower and often. So we were blessed with him. Not everybody is that. Jalen Hood looks nice. He looks nice. He could look nicer if he just focused on, cutting down on turnovers and hopefully knocking down the threes eventually. But he'll be the whole complete package if he works on that. To be honest with you, his defense is solid. I like the way he gets after it, gets through screens. I pay attention to players off ball as well. This is how I do my scouting for you guys. I don't just watch on ball. I'm watching the way he's, chasing his guys, shadowing his player on the defensive end, the way he's fighting through screens, the way he's communicating, everything. You got to look at everything if you're going to scout these young bucks. So his body language is great. His confidence is awesome. He's a tough guard who can get to the basket. He's actually sneaky athletic. I like what he's been doing. Needs to work a little bit on decision making and 3-point shooting, but that'll come. That'll come. He said, Wood should be willing to take the veteran contract if he wants to go to the Lakers. Yeah, that would be a steal. To be honest, he's worth the 10 mil or 11 mil that somebody might dish out for the veterans minimum. He's worth that. He's even worth 13. I'd even pay that for him. But veterans minimum would be the steal, and Rob Pelinka would have the best offseason we have seen in a long time, over a decade. If he does that, I'll tell you that. He's already winning the offseason. What he did with Rui and with Austin Reeves, especially where they were projected to get paid at this summer, has been magnificent. What he's done, getting guys like Taurean Prince, obviously Jackson Hayes, Cam Reddish, just quality guys on the cheap, sensational, right? And obviously Gabe Vincent. And then he brought back D'Lo, and he's still working on a big man. If he can land Christian Wood, that would be one of the final pieces here. I would also love to get Bobo. There's rumors saying that the Lakers are interested in him. Not sure how much validity. Again, you got to take everything with a grain of salt around this time of the year. But I would love to get these type of young players that all kind of fit into with each other as far as the timeline goes. Hood is strong and has an NBA frame already. Yeah, remember, the Lakers said they drafted him because they loved his Mamba mentality. He studied Kobe, and those of you know that if you're a Mamba disciple, you have a very sharp, strong mind, and he seemed very intelligent in the internet. He's going to pick up quick on the game of basketball. He's going to, once the game starts slowing down for him, you're going to see better decisions, better shots, and just a better overall game from him. I see why the Lakers picked him now, right? And it only took me 2 games to see it, but I see why. Tough-minded guard who has a high basketball IQ and is actually a floor general. Right, so he's basically the D'Angelo Russell replacement potentially in a couple of years if D'Lo doesn't pan out. If D'Lo pans out, then we'll keep Jalen Hood off the bench, but he could be the replacement guy. And right now they're going to groom him into that role, so I like it. And Gabe Vincent as well, man. Like, we don't know how long we're going to have these guys for. We don't know if they'll be included in a future trade or whatnot. But right now, it looks like Jalen Hood was drafted for the future, and it looks like we made the right choice. He could end up being top 5 talent in this draft when it's all said and done, right? Once a couple of years pass and he's fully developed, we could be looking like, wow, this guy was the 3rd, 4th, or 5th best player in the draft. And he went, what, to the Lakers? 17? That happens a lot in the drafts. I mean, Kawhi Leonard went, 18, 19? Somewhere around that area. I mean, there's been so many gems that go late in the draft, and they're late bloomers. And later on down the road, you're like, damn, I can't believe he went this far up. And again, I trust the Lakers front office. They've done a tremendous job drafting. Max Christie, we got another one. So I'm excited to see him crack the rotation this season. To hopefully, I could see him backing up Austin Reeves. It's going to be an interesting battle, though, between him and Cam Reddish in training camp. Who do you guys have? I have Max Christie. Right now, he looks more polished, but Cam Reddish could play some backup 3 guard as well. So it shouldn't be a problem. The more, the merrier. More wings, the better. My guy said, give Swider's 2-way contract to Alex Fudge. Just based off of the name is pretty dope, but I'm not ready to make that decision yet. Something about Cole Swider's jump shot just intrigues me so much. But I do like Alex Fudge's athleticism. I'd actually start him the next game alongside Castleton if they're not going to play too big lineup, right? At least this guy's athletic and he'll give you a chance on the boards. He looked great in transition. He had a nice steal breakaway dunk. So yeah, they could have something there. And apparently the Lakers liked him too because they brought him back for multiple workouts, right? They've been scouting him. So that's intriguing as well. Any final questions before I get off? Hopefully you guys play Prize Picks, though, because earlier we made an entry live on the pregame, and I think we hit on that one. I haven't checked, but I think both Jalen Hood and Max Christie, I had them both going over, and they both did. I don't remember who the third piece was, but that game might still be on. But, yeah, I think we hit some money on that for those of you that trusted in your boy. So definitely, if you haven't played Prize Picks, again, this is a perfect time, man. I feel like Summer League is so predictable, so easy. to just see what type of talent these youngsters have and to be able to say if they're going to go over or under on stats. Let's see here. My guy said, Dan, always said the Clippers want Christian Wood. Man, nothing surprises me with those chumps. They want everybody, man. They're so annoying. Like, just go away already. You know, move away. We don't want you here in LA. God, they're so annoying. But hopefully they don't land them. My guy says Shafino kind of reminds me of Lonzo a little bit. He is smooth too, but he needs to improve in that I think Phil Handy can improve. For sure. I see a little bit of Lonzo in him. I see a little bit of D'Angelo Russell, like with the methodical jump shot. I see it. But I also see some Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, when he came into the draft, he was a very tough-minded, defensive-minded point guard who attacked the rim like a maniac. And Jalen Hood, almost every time he's attacking the rim, he's drawing contact or finishing at the basket. So that's a great sign. Both of those are good comparisons. Maybe he's somewhere in between. We won't know. Maybe he's going to turn out to be something completely different. But again, the one thing I do love about him is his floor general abilities and how poised he is. He's very poised. Doesn't get discouraged after a turnover. Doesn't hang his head. He's extremely confident. That's going to bode well for him throughout his NBA career because that's exactly what you need. You can't hang your head. You can't get down on yourself because the players that get down on themselves tend to be the first ones out of the league. You know, they struggle a lot because their confidence gets shot. You want these guys to remain confident and remain and continue to improve and continue to do those things. This is what Summer League is for. You're going to make mistakes. He had 5 turnovers tonight, but he's trying things out. He's feeling out the game. And this is why Summer League, this is what it's for. You know, you got to do it. You got to do it. But anyways, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. I appreciate you guys. Again, I might drop a video on Castleton. You guys voted Castleton. So, again, breaking it down with DTLF is dropping later on tonight. Not sure what time because I got to run some errands. But I got you guys. And if not Castleton, if I change my mind, it might be Max Christie because I think he had an even more impressive game. But it's going to be one of the two, maybe both. We'll see. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. And I will see you guys here Friday. The Lakers play the Warriors, I believe, at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So for sure Friday. Oh, matter of fact, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. I forgot. Around the League is set. I already got my guests that are coming on. So, yeah, I completely forgot about that. But I appreciate you guys, man. See you guys on the next one, all right? Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.